Hello chess family, it's me National Master Jesse James, and today we're going over a very fun game I got to play, the Nimzo-Indian as the black side. I love to play the Nimzo-Indian. I was not very big fan of it as I like to play the King's Indian or much more aggressive lines, but it has definitely grown on me. It's a very good strategic way to play, but you can also get some nice games or some gems like I did in this one, a fast little miniature, and even got a double X-Climb in it. So, let's get to it, guys. Here in this game, I'm playing against a very strong National Master, Road to GM. Here we go. He starts off with d4. I start off with knight f6, the master move. Why is it the master move? Because we do not let you know what opening we have chosen just yet. Here, white goes pawn c4. Pawn to e6, still allowing me to play other openings. I can play c5 for my modern Bayoni, b6 for an Indian. I can even play g6 here. I mean, d6. There's a lot to play. Even d5. Let's go back to a queen's gambit, right? And here my opponent played knight c3. When they do play this, though, I get too excited. I'm going to be playing my Nimzo-Indian, so let's go for it. Bishop to b4 gets played. The main idea for the Nimzo-Indian is we're fighting over this e4 square right here. And the reason why I love it so much is because it's going to create an imbalance in the game. What typically happens is black's going to give away his bishop just so he can get good control over e4, but he's going to get very fast development. Losing the bishop pair is not a thing that should be trifled with. Bishop pair is a real advantage, especially to strong chess players. But with fast development, me being able to castle, and you can see here I'm ready to go, I do like this as black. What does white get out of this? Well, although white's going to be a little bit underdeveloped or not have as many pieces out, they're going to have a very strong center. They're also going to be able to get the bishop pair, but it's going to take a little while for them to get their pieces out. That being said, it is definitely a fun game, and white it definitely does okay in these lines, although most people don't want to go into it because black just gets too many good games out of this. Alright, here we go. In this game, you went ahead and played knight to f3. I don't like to mess about. I go ahead and castle here right away. For 4 moves as black, I'm already castled, and I got good piece play. I cannot complain. Here, bishop g5 got played. Definitely a move I don't think is the best here for white, but, well, I'm definitely finding a lot of fun ways to attack it. Now, you can mess up this game by just going ahead and playing very slow moves here for black. So here, you got to hit the center, and you got to hit it hard. Moves you should be considering here are d5 and c5. I like these moves because they're trying to open up the center. Because the king's still there, you want to try to make as much attacking chances as possible. In this game, I like to play pawn to c5. Now, the reason why I like this move so much is because when you play c5, it's going to hit the dark squares, which I'm very keen on attacking, but also it lets the queen out. And you're going to see here, I really like these new ideas I found, which is the queen going to a5. And here my opponent went ahead and played pawn e3, a very basic move that people will play. But here it allows me to play the move I like to play, pawn to d5, again hit them in the center. I've even played around with the idea of playing queen to a5 here too. And queen a5 here is also a cool idea because if they do take on f6, you get to take on c3 check, pawn takes, queen takes on c3 check, and here they play knight to d2. The theory is pretty hard on this, and I wouldn't be surprised if they said that white is winning or has a better position here, but I like this kind of position. It's crazy, and well, I'm going to get my attacking chances either way. Alright, back to the game. I went ahead and played pawn to d5. Again, I'm just trying to open up the position as soon as possible. My opponent took on d5. Pawn takes on d5. I like this. They can give me isolated pawn, but hey, if you see my other videos, you know I like to play isolated pawn anyways. Bishop to d3 gets played, and now it's really just simple development here. You could play knight c6, you could play bishop g4. I think bishop g4 is the move I like to play most these days. But here, I was feeling a little bit crazy, and I went for the attack. I went ahead and tried my idea out. Queen over to a5. And you can see here the computer says, I'm not sure if this is the best move or not. Now here my opponent did his best to try and mess up this move. He went and played bishop takes, and this does create a lot of the chaos. Unfortunately for him, he made an inaccuracy, and well, a few inaccuracies, and after that I was able to get to a winning position. Well here, like I said earlier, there's no need to take back right away. Let's go ahead and grab our extra pawn. Bishop takes knight, pawn takes, queen takes on c3 check, and here there's actually only one move here that's actually going to give white the small advantage or a good game here in general. White to play. What do you play here? Okay, or if you haven't already, guys, go and give us that like and subscribe. Remember, liking this video is going to share this with more chess players. Did you find the move here that was best for white? Here my opponent played the bad move and played knight to d2. And the best move here, believe it or not, is to go king to f1. This is actually a really interesting move that I really do like, and I've actually played something similar to this in a French defense from the white perspective. They do a bishop check, and you actually play king f1, and you actually have a really good position. At this point, white has a good slight advantage with 0.5. I mean, I would still play this position as black because, well, even though they're 0.5 advantage, I'm playing against a human, and the king is not in its greatest square, right? Shall we say? So there's still a balanced game as far as humans are concerned. With that being said, knight to d2 got played, and this is a mistake because, well, I don't have to take the bishop over here on f6 anymore. I can actually take the bishop here on d3. And yes, this is such a good position for me because now not only do I win my piece back, but I'm going to be stopping them from castling at least right away. And here my opponent got a little too greedy and played bishop to e7. Here he actually helps me set up a checkmating idea. So bishop e7 is a good move. It attacks my rook. It attacks the pawn. Well, let's go ahead and play it. Rook e8. Where else would I play the rook to? He took on c5, and here I was able to find a very nice idea. Here you go ahead and play pawn b6 attacking the bishop. Bishop back to d6. I mean, you can go to b4 here too, I guess. The bishop will be okay here as far as getting back to g3. But here was the sting of it. Remember we mentioned how weak the light squares were? Let's go ahead and add some more pressure to it. We get to play bishop a6. And this is definitely a great position because this king is not going to be castling anytime soon here. Yeah, this king is going to be stuck here. Pawn f3 is probably going to have to get played at some point to play king to f2. And yeah, maybe they can get out of this. But either way, I'm going to like this position. Unfortunately for my opponent, they made a blunderous move here and played knight to f3. It is now black to move and force checkmate in 3 moves. Can you find it? Or hopefully push pause to try to figure this out. Believe it or not, it is forced checkmate in 3, and I did not miss my opportunity. Here you go ahead and play rook takes on e3 for that double exclam, that brilliant move over here, and my opponent went ahead and resigned. At this point, there's nothing they can do. This is one of those offers you can't refuse. Here, they'd have to play pawn takes over here on e3. Queen takes on e3, and now you see that there's just nowhere for this king to move to. And the only move you can play is queen to e2. And you're just going to play queen takes on e2 for a check and a mate. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Remember, this was the Nimzo-Indian from the black perspective. And we talked about ideas about playing c5, d5, and bringing your queen out to a5. If you're playing the Nimzo-Indian and you are not trying out these ideas, you need to try them as soon as possible. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video.